Younger Dryas and Australasian Strewnfield. As said, for consensus the essence is that Younger Dryas is a specific climate event in the past, and the Australasian Strewnfield is a geographical area reflecting human migration and cultural spread. For consensus, the Australasian Strewnfield is the youngest and largest of the Tektite strewnfields, with recent estimates suggesting it might cover 10% to 30% of the Earth's surface. Research indicates that the impact forming the Tektites occurred around 788,000 years ago, most likely in Southeast Asia. The probable location of the crater is unknown and has been the subject of multiple competing hypotheses. Locations: the Australasian Strewnfield is strewn. The roughly 788,000-year-old Strewnfield includes most of Southeast Asia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, and southern China. Please keep in mind that the split from modern humans occurred around 800,000 years ago, while Neanderthals and Denisovans diverged from each other about 400,000 years ago. Further, keep in mind that we claim that Neanderthals and Denisovans were hybrids that were kind of hybridized and produced by the ancient humans, in cradles, and this for mining and the handling of megafauna, and that they were carried on ships and were spread and deployed by ancient humans also through and during the Austronesian Expansions. Tektites, meteorites. Tektites are gravel-sized bodies composed of black, green, brown, or grey natural glass formed from terrestrial debris ejected during meteorite impacts. Metal industry slacks. Please keep in mind that the same or similar materials or proxies can also be formed by volcanic activities, but also by metallurgic activities. Glass. Metal industry slacks, particularly those from processes like blast furnaces and steelmaking, can form a glass-like material, due to rapid cooling and the presence of certain elements. The glass content in these slacks can be a significant portion, sometimes reaching 90%, and the composition is generally characterized by oxides and silicates. Spherules. Spherules in metal industry slacks can have varied compositions, often including silicates, oxides, and even metal-rich inclusions, depending on the specific process and materials used. Some spherules may be formed as melt droplets that quickly cool, while others may form from condensates of vaporized materials. The exact composition can also vary depending on the origin of the spherules, such as impact ejecta or industrial waste. Iridium can be a byproduct of nickel or copper production and used in alloys. It's primarily recovered from the platinum group metals, PGMs. This Austronesian field is also where the majority of Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and Denisovans, and also the stranger archaic human fossils were found. This by us claimed mining was necessary for the contemporary boom in blast furnaces and metallurgy activities, that also involved the production of alloys. Its consequential slacks are found exactly where the cultures developed its now archaeological sites, and were not at all continuous. In the case of the Austronesian field, consensus dares to mention both a supposed supervolcano and the spread of cultures. Most probably consensus ups to not even mention an extraterrestrial or meteorite impact because the area is too big, and especially because the dates are too spread out. This is not the case for the Younger Dryas field, as it would contradict the out of Africa and the for it essential Beringia land bridge hypotheses. In the case of the Austronesian field, the material from the supposed impact stretches east across the ocean to include the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia. It also reaches far west out into the Indian Ocean, and south to Australia, including Tasmania. Since the 1960s, it has been accepted that the strewn field included Hainan in southern China to Australia, or about 10% of the Earth's surface. This was later extended by finds in Africa and Tasmania to 20%. Additional finds in northern Tibet, Guangxi, and Antarctica increased the strewn field to about 30% of the Earth's surface. Associate Austronesian expansion. Obviously, all these places spatially associate with the Austronesian expansion, except that it confirms a much earlier wave. Obviously, such a much earlier wave also happened in the Younger Dryas field, and it is confirmed by the spread of the waves of Neanderthals in that same region. That humans were behind or at least contemporarily present is clear, simply because the Neanderthal present the same DNA as humans, including the enigmatic mitochondrial Eve DNA. For the same reasons humans, Neanderthals as well as Denisovans are called sister groups. Hybridisations. The only difference between humans, Neanderthals, and Denisovans lies in the hybridisations, which include methylations. And that can consist of a. Duplications and deletions. Duplications and deletions, as copy number variations, CNVs, change the number of gene copies, while DNA methylation is an epigenetic modification that can alter gene expression without changing the DNA sequence. Duplications and deletions can cause disease or be beneficial. Haplogroups like, for instance, RM269 are not the result of duplications and deletions. B. Insertions. Insertions can cause disease or be beneficial, just as duplications and deletions can. Haplogroups like, for instance, RM269 are not the result of insertions. C. Change in a single DNA base creating a new haplogroup. It is a defined subclade of the human Y chromosome haplogroup R1b, characterized by the presence of the single nucleotide polymorphism, SNP, marker M269. M269 is a specific genetic variant, a change in a single DNA base, that distinguishes individuals belonging to this haplogroup. A change in a single DNA base creating a new haplogroup can result in more or less vulnerability to certain diseases. D. Methylations. Methylations, contrary to all the above, do not alter the DNA sequence, they only silence genes or make genes inactive. This is achieved by adding methyl groups to specific DNA sequences, typically at cytosine bases, which can prevent transcription factors from binding and initiating gene expression. Random mutations do nothing at best. Random mutations do nothing at best and cause diseases at worst. From this we can deduce that all the claimed hybridizations listed above are not random mutations and consequently hybridizations. Neanderthals etc. are also modern humans. Neanderthals and the other archaics like Denisovans are also modern humans and identical to them. They only underwent different hybridizations, and some of these hybridizations we interpret or associate as archaic or not modern. If this were not true, modern humans would not have been classified in the so-called sister groups together with the Neanderthal and Denisovans.